Hello there, welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a campfire. So, the main things that I'll be covering is how to find the right place for a campfire and how to make one. Now, this campfire will be unique in the several features that it'll have. The first feature of this campfire is that it's going to be underground. This way, it's going to be harder to see, and once I'm done using it, I could just cover it up and no one can see it. Then later I could come back to it later, take off the cover, and use the campfire again. The second feature is that because it's underground, it's going to need more oxygen. So I'm going to make a tunnel leading from under the ground to the very top. This will let oxygen come in, and it's going to reduce the amount of smoke, and at the same time, it's going to build up the fire. So, let's get to it. So, the first thing we're going to have to do is find a place to make our campfire. Now, we're going to preferably want our campfire at a high altitude, as opposed to a low one, because it'll make it harder for other people to spot it. And if I'm at a higher altitude, I'll be able to spot the people first. We also have to consider if our campfire is close to a water source, because water sources will have muddy soil. And with muddy soil, it's really hard to dig a hole under the ground like we want our fire to be. So, here I've done a bit of scouting, and as you can see, there's like a little hill there. So, I'm thinking of building my campfire on top of the hill. Now that way I have a view over all this area, and I also have nice dry ground because of the higher elevation. Now we can see that there's thick bushes all around this little hill. Now this is really good, because if someone's trying to reach the fire, it's going to take them a lot longer, and in that time, I could put the fire out and run away. So here we're at the top of the hill, and you can see that it's got an amazing view of all the surroundings. So if someone's trying to come through that thicket, I can see them and put the fire out, and I'll even have time trying to wait while they have to come up this little hill. As you can see nearby, there's also a pond. Now that's really good because if something gets out of control, I can put the fire out using the nearby water source. Another interesting thing that I've found is, if I come down here, there's a hole. Now, I did not make this hole, but my assumption is that an animal did. Now, you can see the ground is really uneven, so it probably wasn't done with a shovel, and was much more likely done with an animal's hands. So what I plan to do is I'm probably going to extend this more downwards, and that's pretty much where I'm going to make my fire. I'm going to surround the soil with rocks, which will pretty much keep the heat inside the fire. And then inside I could put the wooden logs. So, while out in the forest, I found bricks pretty much layered all in the soil. Now a few months prior, I went ahead and put them on this log to let them dry out of all the soil. So now, as you can see, it's pretty much kind of rocks, some holes. Now, I plan to use this instead of rocks for my fire. So I'll put these all around my fire pit, and it'll heat, and it'll help keep warmth to the fire. So I've got a few of these, and I'll just bring them all the way to the hill. So, here I'm at the area. I've got my hole here, and I've got my bricks. I've just unfolded my foldable shovel. So, I'm first just going to start by clearing out the snow. Clear out. See some of this. So here I've got the campfire. What I'm basically doing is just smoothing out the ground, making sure it's all at the same level. I've taken out a few of these frozen top layers of kind of sand slash rock. Here I've got the bricks, so I'm thinking in what way to put them. Right now I'm just taking out some excess kind of soil, taking out leaves, all of that sort of stuff. So for the design, I'm thinking of having the bricks being vertical all around the campfire. So I'm going to put that and see how it turns out. So you know what? I'm going to change this a bit and put these two in the front, going horizontally across like that. That way I could see the fire a lot better. You put the wood in here, and then all this around will help contain the heat. We've got the hole to prevent it from view. Later I could put a cover on it. Now it's time to get the firewood. Now when looking for firewood, make sure the firewood that you look for is always above the ground. It's never on the ground. Often wood on the ground rots very easily and is usually full of moisture, which will not help you in making a fire. So you're looking for nice, dry pieces standing above the ground. Now, you don't want to use green trees. Green trees will not burn well. You're looking for dead standing trees that haven't fallen onto the ground. So if you're looking around, you will most definitely find some good trees for firewood. Now, if you're wondering how I got to such a high elevation, it's because I'm on my wooden platform. This top platform reaches up to 2 meters down to 1 meter. Very nice platform that I use for scouting, resources, looking at animals. I built this in one of my previous videos. So if you want to know how to build this, make sure to check it out. The link is going to be in the description. So here it is. You can see it's pretty dry on the inside, so it should be good to use. My log right over here, so this is the wood that I'm going to split. I'm going to grab my axe and put it right on the top like this. Then, with my bigger log, I'm just going to hit it down vertically. Now, because the wood has a vertical kind of grain, it's going to split right down the wood. Here we can see the cracks starting to form. So now we're just going to hold it with one hand. Now here, once it's deep enough and we can't hit it anymore on the top, we're just going to grab it and shove it into the ground. That's going to make the axe go through. Like that. And here we have a nice, clean split. We're just going to do this again. To the side, hit it against the ground, and then you could add your other pieces in. Do this for a few more logs, and you've got a bunch of pieces. Just add them in, like so. Here, make sure each of them get caught. I'm just going to take off the fire stick, put it to the side with my hammer stick, splitting logs, put this to the side. I found this board here, the other one, and the other board. So here we can see, fire is nice and dry on the inside. I don't know what to do. Here I kind of threw it in there. Now it's just starting, kind of glow. So the sticks haven't been working, so instead what I'm doing is I'm taking small pieces off these large pieces, like these, kind of like wood chips, and I'm just making a small pile. And now hopefully the leaves will light, and then they're going to light that up too. So I'm just making sure they're real small. I'm using my knife just to cut them through, peeling them off. They're very small, and I'm just breaking pieces off, kind of making like wood chips. So the first thing you're going to need for your fire is some tinder. Now tinder is pretty much a bunch of dead leaves and twigs that help to kickstart your fire. Now for the twigs, I like gathering a bit of pine twigs. Now pine is easily distinguished by pine needles that hang at the top like that. Now the dead branches usually lay near the bottom or near the ground. I've collected a few. This should be enough, maybe a bit more. Now you'll know if they're dry or not if you go to bend them and they crack off right away. If they crack off right away, that means they're dry. If they're really flexible, like for example this, so if I bend this, it's really flexible, that means it's alive, and we don't want living branches, because that's not going to help us start our fire. So now we're going to start building our fire. Now the first thing we're going to do is just add in some leaves at the very bottom. This will help insulate it from the ground, because the ground is very cold. Then we're going to go ahead and insert our birch bark. Put in some of our fire tinders. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our pine and just kind of make a teepee hut-like structure all around. Top for now. Because I haven't learned how to make a primitive fire, I'm going to use matches. So, what you do, strike it once, cup your hand around it, bring it right into the middle. Now you want to light up several parts of the tinder. Light up that part, light up this part, light up here. Just leave it going like that. Well, that one goes. You just add in a second one. Second one will help it. Try and light it up in all areas. Nice. Just go ahead, cover this up here. There we go. Ooh. Throw your prepared tinder into here. So. You can see very well how it's starting to kind of glow like this. Nice. There we go, we started it. Feel free to add some of these in. And maybe just try maybe adding in this bark too. There we go, that one's a lot better. And you know what? I found this brick. I'll just add it on to here. And there we go. It's pretty much all burning. Wow. There we go. Now I'm slowly cooking my bacon. Make this come right over here. And then make that. Right up top. There we go. Make sure everything is nice and sealed. Just to prevent any rain from getting in, snow, anything like that. So there we go. If you guys have any suggestions when it comes to fire making, or any suggestions to future videos, feel free to let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.